Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's July 28th, 2016. The Democratic National Convention has concluded. Hillary ended it by accepting the nomination, becoming the first woman in the history of the United States to be the major nominee for either of the two major political parties, currently the Democrats and Republicans. They made the point right away, a point they've been making for the last several months. It's been 96 years since women earned the right to vote, which happened August 18th, 1920. Hillary Clinton becoming the first female nominee 96 years later, another major milestone for women in elections. What we're going to do in this video is show the evidence of the scripting for Hillary Clinton, the first female president, and we're going to talk about the importance of the multiple methods of gematria that I use. When I first started this channel, I only talked about two methods because they were the only two relevant methods I was aware of that were interrelated. But as time has gone on, as I've studied this more, as more people have contributed information, it became obvious to me that multiple methods were intertwined, interrelated, and those are the ones I talk about in this channel, showing all of the coding for Hillary Clinton and then the additional that we'll cover at the end of the video. That should all become very clear. So we'll talk about why 307 is important to Hillary Clinton this year, as well as 576. From the date she announced her candidacy, April 12th day, November 8th, 2016, is exactly 576 days. 96 years, 576 days, all evidence of the script by the numbers. But check this out. This article right here is from the New York Post, June 7th, 2016, emphasizing the 96 years. Freemason equals 96. In Pythagorean gematria, Freemasonry equals 67. And we've been talking a lot in the last year about this coding on this channel with regards to Hillary Clinton and 67. Let me take you back to this article from Time magazine, written April 3rd, 2015, 9 days before she officially announced her campaign for president. Hillary Clinton is the perfect age to be president, Time magazine writes, and then it begins at 67. This last article was written June 7th, 6/7. 67 is the special number. Female in Jewish gematria sums to 67. International Women's Day is March 8th, the 67th day of the year. No coincidence. If you follow my work, a lot of times 67 is coded into stories where the focus is on sexuality or the female. You can see the work I did on International Women's Day, the stories that were in the media, including a mother being shot by her child. This number gets coded a lot, 67, in regards to women, and it's front and center for the Hillary Clinton campaign. Something else to notice, this article came out on April 3rd, which is the 93rd day of the year. Notice that the New York Post posted at 9:39 p.m. 93 and 39 are very special numbers to New York State. New York equals 39 and Y equals 39. You know, we're talking about multiple gematria methods. This is where I began. This was my early basic level understanding. Simple English gematria, which on this calculator is called English ordinal, and Pythagorean gematria, which on this calculator is called English reduction, are interrelated. The abbreviation NY is 39. New York in Pythagorean gematria is 39. The date of establishment, 7/26/1788, is a date with 39 numerology. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 6 is 15, plus 1 is 16, plus 7 is 23, plus 8 is 31, plus 8 is 39. And this is what gematria and coding by the numbers is all about, syncing up the language with the dates of significance. There's so much more to this in regards to New York. Just understand these numbers are important. It's known as the Empire State. Empire equals 39. The United Nations there is 39 floors tall. They rebuilt the World Trade Center site with One World Trade Center, which has gematria of 93, the reflection of 39. Remember, there was the 93 World Trade Center bombing when Bill Clinton became president, the 42nd president. And speaking of 42, a fitting place for a bombing in NYC. The Clinton political dynasty traces back to the beginning of this country. The original governors of New York, the fourth vice president, George Clinton, who was born in 1739. Bill Clinton was not born with the last name Clinton. His biological father died on a date by the numbers. Show you this. William Jefferson Clinton, the name he took on, has gematria of 111, and New York, in simple English gematria, sums to 111. If you look up the date, September 11th, it's the day that leaves 111 days left in the year. The construction firm that built the World Trade Centers has gematria of 111 and also 156, another significant number we'll talk about. But because this video is also a gematria lesson, I'm just going deeper on these numbers. I want people to understand how all the methods are related. So these are two methods. This is where my channel began. I only spoke of these two methods. There was a lot within these two methods that I could reveal. Things such as alt and alternate, using these alternate methods interrelated. You know, there's things like English, gematria, and English and gematria are interrelated. They're based on the alphabetic order, the sequence of the letters. Morse 74, if you look up who's credited with creating the English language, his name is Robert Wilkinson, spelled this way with Y's instead of I's. Another 74. Very special number to the Freemasons, to the Zionist Jews, Masonic 74, Jewish 74. This nation, its Independence Day is 7-4. Independence Day in Pythagorean gematria is 74. The word holiday is 74. The first Thanksgiving was celebrated by George Washington. The next Thanksgiving, or when it was made an official holiday, was done so by Lincoln exactly 74 years later. Both Thanksgivings falling on November 26th with Washington and Lincoln. So anyway, to bring it back to Hillary, talk more about all of these numbers here, but we're establishing the female connection, Hillary being set up as the first female president by the numbers. If Hillary becomes the next president, she'll take office at age 69, and her first term will come to an end at age 73. This Time magazine said Hillary was the perfect age to be president. Perfect is 73. Hillary Clinton is 73. She would probably be a two-term president because if she were two terms, she would finish at age 77. Washington, D.C. is on the 77th meridian, known as the American meridian. Washington, D.C. and American meridian are a perfect match in gematria. Special numbers we talk about a lot. At 11:33, all this confetti coming down to celebrate these paid actor agents who sell Americans nice lines and nothing but lip service, sell us out year after year, and still a major part of the population wants to become involved in this grand lie. So again, Freemason has all this gematria. Hillary Clinton, 96 years after the women's right to vote, becomes the first female nominee for a major party. Election day is 576 days after the day her campaign began, which was April 12th, the 102nd day of the year, the date in history the Civil War began. The 102nd day of the year connects to a lot of important things. The World Trade Center attacks and the history of this nation. United States of America has gematria of 102. So does the phrase Key of David, this instrument in bringing about prophecy, which is connected to Philadelphia from the book of Revelation. Think about how the DNC is happening in Philadelphia right now. It's Revelation 3:7 that talks about Philadelphia and the Key of David. The day Hillary Clinton's campaign began connects to the Key of David, United States of America. They said at the beginning, there was a story, I've done a video on this, you can look up. Hillary Clinton's 102-year-old caucuser, the woman going out supporting her, speaking for her at age 102 when Hillary's campaign launched on the 102nd day of the year. The number 307 is also the 63rd prime number, and if you add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016, like the year we're in, the year of her campaign, the year of this election. 307, the 63rd prime number, a number directly connected to 2016. Here's Revelation 3:7 about Philadelphia. Revelation's the book of prophecy. Philadelphia, key of David. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things say he who is holy, he who is true, he who hath the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. So notice, Philadelphia, he who has the key of David. In an earlier video, I showed how the gematria, the key of David, sums to the same thing that matches the numerology of the establishment date of Philadelphia. City established by Arthur Penn, who came over from British royalty. So anyhow, Revelation's the book of prophecy. The DNC convention this year began July 25th, 106 days before voting day. Prophecy equals 106. Last year, Philadelphia had the 106-mile-per-hour train wreck where the day after the Republicans voted to not fund Amtrak for the safety measure. It was all choreographed. It was all part of a planned agenda. It was a hoax train crash to create a political narrative that in the mainstream media was used to further divide the country. It started one of those political narratives about, the Republicans don't want to spend all this extra needless money, taxpayer dollar on needless safety measures, where the Democrats were saying safety first, and in this case, the vote came the day after the Amtrak wreck, so it created some political noise if you followed the headlines at the time. But this is what they do. They create narratives. They use what you call false flags. Sometimes they're shooting. Sometimes they're taking down massive towers in New York City. Sometimes they're hoax train wrecks. If you haven't seen the news footage, there was supposedly a former congressman on the train who broke the news with a tweet, and then he was on the news, supposedly in this 106-mile-per-hour train wreck, without a scratch on him, his suit looking clean as ever. It is just so fake. People have to be blind to not see it. From the day Hillary announced her campaign to the election, there it is right there, 576 days. The 82 weeks and 2 days also stands out because in English gematria, I'll just show this to you, Washington, D.C. sums to 822. And this story, this coded narrative is foreshadowing Hillary's throne in Washington, D.C., where her husband once sat, where she was once First Lady. That happened in the year 93. We were talking about 39, 93, the New York connection, the Clintons. So anyway, her husband was the 42nd president. The divisors of 42, if you add them together, they sum to 96. The word Freemason in Pythagorean gematria sums to 42, the big way 96. That's just like how we plug it in on this calendar with these two interrelated methods. And with these two interrelated methods right here, this rule is always true. This is the math check if you do this work by hand. When I started this channel, I did everything by hand. People showed me these calculators. I wasn't even aware of them. Anyhow, the check is the numbers will always break down to the same numerology. 4 plus 2 is 6. 96, we're talking about for Freemason here. 42, 4 plus 2 is 6. The big way, 96. 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. They both break down to 6. The same is true for all words in any method. I'll just write all words to make the point. All words the small way, 32. The big way, 104. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 0 plus 4 is 5. This will always be true. This is the math check. Numbers, they have structure to them. They have ways of lining up, being perfect in alignment. This is why the Freemasons who are builders use numbers to script their madness. It can be an exact system, a science. If Hillary is to become the 45th president, with Bill being 42, if you add 42 and 45, it sums to 87, just like the name Clinton in simple English gematria. Bill Clinton's biological father was murdered on a date with 33 and 87 numerology. The name Clinton the small way is 33. With regards to 33, Washington, D.C. is the 137 simple English gematria. 137 is the 33rd prime number. Federal equals 33 in Pythagorean gematria. Clinton 33, Order 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33. Also, a point I want to make about 42, it's a number the Freemasons have coded into many divisive words. Words that are used to divide among race, sexuality, religion. That number that's coded into so many of these hateful words is 42, the number connecting to Freemasons. The Freemasons believe in divide and conquer and order through chaos, part of their mottos. I want you to notice how female, lady, bitch, all in simple English gematria sum to 42. Of course, the definition for bitch is a female dog, so very much ties in with female. The most hateful word for black Americans has the number 42 coded on it. So do words for white people. Black History Month is February. February sums to 42. It's the only month that does. February also ends on the 59th day of the year. That's the other number coded on black people, 42 and 59. Think about how Jackie Robinson wore 42. Barack Obama, when he came out to give the keynote address in 2004, where he was made an instant star by the media, he was 42 years old then, and the media was asking, could we be seeing the first black president? They used to joke that Bill Clinton was the first black president, number 42. You know, people who are old enough surely remember that. Common line with Bill Clinton, the first black president. Remember, Tupac sung the song Changes. Well, it was released after his death. He died in 96 by the numbers. You never seen my work on Tupac. Tupac Shakur equals 139. Freemasonry equals 139. Dead 13/9, September 13th, plus a whole lot more. But anyway, this is what's going on with the coding. This is why Barack Obama, was brought out at age 42. It's all part of the script. Have you seen my work on Tony Dungy, the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl, winning it on 4/2 by the numbers of prophecy? He was born on 10/6, won it 121 days after his birthday. Revelation, the big way, 121, the book of prophecy. Philadelphia named from. Some other headlines tonight during Hillary's speech. Trump's words should set off alarms, and I feel like this is a warning for the people. Trump has picked Mike Pence for his vice president. Trump-Pence sort of sounds like trumpets. And if you've never read Revelation, the book of prophecy, there's trumpets that are warnings. And look at this headline. Trump's words should set off alarms, like a warning. Revelation equals 121. In simple English gematria, in Pythagorean gematria, Trump's words should set off alarms, 121. Trumpets. And then later they emphasize this, I will be president for all. New York 111, William Jefferson Clinton 111, I will be president for all, 111. The Clinton political dynasty traces back to New York. CNN kept up on their ticker. It's probably still there, 10:56 a.m. for their updates on the ticker, even though they kept updating it. They just kept it at that time. That number's a lot like 156, and I want to continue with this gematria lesson talking about 156. The phrase false flag has gematria, well, when spelled correctly, hold on here. False flag in gematria sums to 156 in Clinton's September 11th, 9/11. 156 is directly connected to the number 9/11. 911 is the 156th prime number, which I will show you on this calculator as soon as it loads up. Here we go. 911 is the 156th prime number. Now there's two numbers that have a relationship with 156 when written out in simple English gematria, or on this calculator, English ordinal. They are 28 and 33. The World Trade Center's construction began August 1968, 33 years before September 11th. They opened 1973, April 4th, the 5-year anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 68, meaning they were open from 73 to 2001, 28 years. And again, 156 connect to false flag. September 11th was a false flag, which is an attack done by a nation against itself to create a narrative to attack a boogeyman. This has been done by other nations. The United States of America, one of these nations that uses false flags to deceive their people. Here's what else is interesting about false flag. In Pythagorean gematria, it also sums to 33. And in the U.S. Army Field Manual, Rule 33-1 talks about the psychological operations program, which is another form of false flag. If you read Army Field Manual 33-1, you can read about the psychological operations program, about staging propaganda to control the masses for a military agenda. We live in a military nation. People such as Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Daddy Bush, Ronald Reagan, all of these people are actor agents that help maintain the military empire, deceive the people, keep the American dream going. Remember right after 9/11 when George W. Bush told people, don't be too fearful, still shop at the malls. You know, they need the consumption machine going. We're a nation of consumers. We're a nation who is kept under fear and tyranny. It's all about power, control, profit. This is what we're participating in. This is why we're exposed to these lies. They condition us. They make us go along with this agenda that does not serve us in any beneficial way. They have to create this false threat of our security is in jeopardy to hoax us into the agenda. So you see how these methods come together. Simple English gematria, Pythagorean gematria, English gematria, Jewish gematria. That's what we're talking about here with these different methods. False flag is 156 in Jewish gematria, but it connects through the simple English gematria and Pythagorean gematria. There's so many examples of this. You know, look at the name Barack. I'll show you all that's interesting about the name of our president, which I guarantee you is not his real name. Barack Obama is born on August 4th, the 216th day of the year, 216. Also, Barack Obama has a lot of ties to Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War president. Notice that Barack sums to 97 in Jewish gematria. Civil War in simple English gematria sums to 97. Abraham Lincoln was the Civil War president. Now, 97 and 43 have a relationship through Civil War. Let me show you this. Civil War in Pythagorean gematria is 43. In simple English gematria, it's 97. And for the math check, 9 plus 7 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. 43 is 4 plus 3 is 7. They both reduce to 7. The Civil War began in Charleston. In Pythagorean gematria, Charleston also sums to 43. 43. Just like Civil War. Lincoln was born on the 43rd day of the year, February 12th, the Civil War president. There's a whole lot more to the story than that, but think about how significant these numbers are. The Civil War began on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year. It was a war to save the United States of America. United States of America sums to 102. Now that's what I need to explain to you about this calculator. Notice that United States of America on the calculator sums to 84, which is another important number. Obama is born on 8/4. Show you this. Obama in Jewish gematria sums to 84, born on 8/4, the 216th day of the year. United States of America also equals 84. If you've never read the book 1984, it's very much about a nation like the United States of America, where the people are controlled with propaganda and screens. But anyhow, what you need to know is there's something called S exceptions. And for each S, you can add 2 more. Or excuse me, you can add 9 for each S. Because S is the 19th letter, 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. It's the only letter you have to compress twice to get to a single digit in the 26-letter alphabet. S can be 10 or 1. In the calculator, S is always worth 1, but if you make it 10, you add 9 for each S. So United States of America plus 9 is 93, plus 9 more is 102. April 12th, the 102nd day of the year. Lincoln would die on a date with 102 numerology as well as 84 numerology. He died April 15th, 1865. 8 plus 15 plus 65, a fair method of getting a date numerology is 84. You can also take it out a step further. 4 plus 15 plus 18 plus 65, which is 102. And think about the 84 connection. Obama reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was assassinated on the 42nd day of the year, February 11th, 2009, just after becoming president. Lincoln was killed at Ford's Theater, which has the same gematria as Freemasonry, the small way and the big way. Check this out. Notice Ford's Theater, the small way is 58, the big way 139, Freemasonry 58 and 139. There was also an assassination attempt on Lincoln at the Willard Hotel just before the Civil War, supposedly. Willard Hotel has the exact same gematria. There's even more to it than that. From the assassination attempt to his actual assassination was 216 weeks. And again, Obama's born on the 216th day of the year, who reopened Ford's Theater after it had been closed for 32 years. You might have noticed that Obama, in simple English gematria, sums to 32. America, in Pythagorean gematria, sums to 32. In simple English gematria, it sums to 50. The date of the Declaration of Independence is a date with 32 numerology. Supposedly, we got our independence from the United Kingdom. UK, 32. 32, the middle degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 31, 32, 33, the important ranging degrees, which sum to 96. Again, the word Freemason equals 96. There's so many more things I could tell you, but I've already gone on long enough. I don't want this video to be too long. I just want people to see how all of these methods are very important. They're all interrelated. That's why it's relevant to talk about all of them and show the coding. If you think about it, this system, the more relevant a word is the more numbers of significance that are coded into it. If you saw my work on the Dallas shooting hoax of July 7th, I showed how the mayor's name, the governor of Texas, he had a very special name in gematria and multiple methods. Let's look that up real quick, do it live, and then we'll close out this video. I need to look up his name again. I forget what it is off the top of my head. Governor of Texas. I need his full name. Gregory Wayne Abbott. These people, they are given names as agents. Gregory Wayne Abbott in simple English gematria sums to 223, which is a special number to the Freemasons. Show you this. Masonic equals 223. Excuse me. The Synagogue of Satan equals 223, which is the name given to the false Jews, the Zionist Jews who are said to rule in the end times in Revelation, the book of prophecy. Notice how in Jewish gematria, the Synagogue of Satan sums to 1201. In simple English, 223 like Masonic. Again, Revelation in simple English gematria is 121, where the Synagogue of Satan is named. With regards to this mayor, check out his name in Jewish gematria as well as simple English. 223 in simple English, and also 2230 in Jewish. 2230. This is no coincidence. This is how well thought out and coded out the name is. The word agent has gematria 47. Think about the video game Hitman. The name of the agent is Agent 47. In so many of our elected offices, that's exactly what we have, our agents. The word president itself, where we began with Hillary Clinton, has gematria 47. You know, in other nations, they call it the PM. P in Pythagorean gematria is 7. M is 4. PM, 7447, very special numbers to Freemasonry. Freemasonry has something called Euclid's 47th problem, which is about finding, the side of the triangle from the Pythagorean theorem, and it's about establishing foundation. The Freemasons are builders. They have built our history by the numbers, coding it and fulfilling the code of revelation and prophecy from the Bible. If you read Revelation, it's full of 4 and 7. This nation's birthday, numbers we talked about heavily. Get ready for Queen Hillary, truth seeker. Remember, Donald Trump, Trump equals 88, Elizabeth equals 88. He came out to the song Queen 88 days after the Queen's birthday. You can go back and watch those videos. Lots more information to know. Until next time, truth seeker. Encore. As for Donald Trump, he's playing the other actor, agent stooge. As I've been saying for all year, what he's doing is making Hillary more likable by playing the bigot, the hypocrite, the fool that he is. These people are puppets on strings. Donald Trump, I think, has been an actor stooge his whole life. His business career began in 1968, the same year World Trade Center construction began, the same year 9/11 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code, the same year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, all in 68. Donald Trump's tallest tower is 68 stories tall. His full name, Donald John Trump, sums to 68 in Pythagorean Gematria. What we're living out is something that's been planned for at least that long. In 1968, it seems a plan was really put in motion that's being carried forward. That's the year of the assassination of MLK and Bobby Kennedy by the numbers. You know, we were talking about false flag 156. Robert Kennedy equals 156. He was killed or shot on the 156th day of the year, June 5th. He would die the next morning, June 6th, by the numbers. Robert Kennedy, the small way, sums to 66. He died at 1:44 in the morning. His brother, JFK, died on the first day of Sagittarius, having Gematria of 144. MLK was killed April 4th. If you write out April 4th in Gematria, it sums to 144. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. That's why 44 is spelled a funny way. You know, it should have a U in there, but it doesn't. JFK was the 44th term president, died in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Freemason. It's always been a show by the numbers, from assassinations to having reality TV actors such as Donald Trump running for president. Look at this headline, Trump, just kidding, Gematria of 216, the Cleveland Convention, home of the 216 area code. If you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, it sums to 216. 666, a number made infamous in Revelation of the Bible. The word prophecy in Jewish Gematria also sums to 666. Donald Trump's running for Clinton. Cleveland has the same Gematria as Clinton, one of the few cities that sums to 33. This subheadline, Trump just kidding about Russia hacking to find Clinton's emails. What the real headline's about is this whole Donald Trump candidacy is just kidding. It's just a massive joke, and people can't see it, which is what's so embarrassing, which is why I'm doing this work, because people need to wake up. They need to get out of the American dream and check into the American reality. But anyway, this Gematria of 234, 234 plus its reflection, 432, sums to 666. Prophecy 666, again 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216, like what was also coded, like the Cleveland area code. Game 6 of the NBA Finals in Cleveland, the last game there, summed to 216 points. Sports are as scripted as politics. It's the same Freemasons, it's the same Zionists doing it all. Zionism equals Freemason equals 42. Just yesterday, Donald Trump was doing that old 666 code. Sometimes people do that naturally, and it doesn't mean anything. You can't always say that because somebody does that with their fingers, it has this meaning. But in regards to all this coding, it looks like Donald Trump is even posing with the 666 for the camera. If you don't know that one, look at my fingers. It looks sort of like a 6. Think about each finger representing 1 6. 666. Trump calls on Russia to attack Clinton's emails. Russia equals 87, Clinton equals 87. All of this is a narrative for Hillary Clinton. All part of the grand mocking. Until next time, double encore. For the sake of being thorough, one more point I want to make. When Barack Obama, the 44th president, became president, Donald Trump was in the headlines starting the birther argument. Birther. Some people say it's really credited to Hillary Clinton, but it was Donald Trump getting the headlines for saying that Obama wasn't born in the United States. And the term birther was used again and again. Birther has Gematria 44. Remember, Obama ran on hope. The word hope also has Gematria 44. Hillary Clinton is attempting to become the 44th person to be president. Even though Obama's 44, he's really only the 43rd person because Grover Cleveland counted as 22 and 24, so the count's always been off. The 24th president was only the 23rd person to be. The 25th president was the 24th person, so all the way up to Obama. Here's what I want to show you about that. We were talking about how Obama is connected to Lincoln. Lincoln was the Civil War president, born on the 43rd day of the year. Civil War 43, Charleston 43, where the Civil War began. Massacre has Gematria 43. Obama gave his acceptance speech to be the 43rd person to be president in the land of Lincoln, Illinois, and Grant Park, which has Gematria 43. He did it on the date November 4th, 2008. 11 plus 4 plus 20 plus 8, fair way to get the date numerology. That sums to 43. 11 plus 4 is 15, plus 20 is 35, plus 8, 43. So Grant Park, on a date with 43 numerology, he accepted being the 43rd person to be president, with the connections to Lincoln, the Civil War president. And in the time of the Obama presidency, we've gotten all these divisive headlines about race, religion. You know, it was going on before him, but they've brought it to a new height, the media, in the time of the Obama presidency. And none of this is by accident. It's all part of the script that we live within by the numbers, which is what I'm trying to get people to wake up to, because we can end this system just like the characters in The Wizard of Oz. Oz has the same gematria as USA. No coincidence. 41 is the 13th prime number. This nation began with 13 colonies. So with regards to Hillary and 44, let me just show you this. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. When you write out April 4th, it sums to 144. When you write out Sagittarius, it sums to 144. JFK was the 44th term president, died on the first day of Sagittarius by the numbers. Bobby Kennedy would die at 1:44 in the morning. There's also this phrase, 10 days later. Bobby Kennedy was killed 10 days after giving a speech on gun control about Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination on April 4th. In history, Lincoln recorded in his journal on April 4th that he dreamed of being assassinated. He would be shot April 14th, 10 days later, after that dream, a date written 14/4, Good Friday. So these numbers, very significant. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump trying to become the 44th person to be president. Hillary's maiden name is Hillary Rodham, which has gematria of 144. Quite fitting for the 44th person to be president. Earlier I said how they stamped 42 on black people. I want you to notice something. 42 equals 142. President Obama equals 142. I also said they stamp 59 on black people. Obama's legacy will likely be Obamacare for people who support him and people who criticize him. Obamacare is part of a sick joke. Whoops. Motown Records came out in 59. Blues equals 59. Negro equals 59. Slave equals 59. Obamacare equals 59. If you write out 5 and 9, they're the only two numbers that come back to 42. And if you write out slavery, it also sums to 102. The Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year, largely over slavery. With regards to Obama being the 43rd person to be president, check this out. First black president, also summing to 59. The word kill in Jewish gematria equals 59. In simple English gematria, it sums to 44. And all throughout history, these numbers have been stamped on the killing of people, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Malcolm X to many presidents. Malcolm X died on a date with a life lesson number of 44. His assassin got 44 years in prison. His assassin's name was Thomas Hagen. Show you all this. 4459. Malcolm X's assassin, Thomas Hagen, Gematria 44, 44-year prison sentence, killed him on a date with 44 life lesson number. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassin would die April 23rd, 30 years after his death. So 1998, which was a date with 144 numerology. You know, all throughout history, these numbers coded again and again in major events, the events that have shaped the world as we know it. It's because the Freemasons are running the show. They say the victors write the history books. And in this nation, in this world, that is the Freemasons. That's why history repeats itself. These people recreate it by the numbers again and again. See my work on Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray was a story meant to provoke, meant to divide, and it was a recreation of the Civil War. It began April 12th when he was arrested in Baltimore. It got big when he died April 19th in Baltimore. The Civil War began April 12th. The first casualty of the Civil War that was recorded was April 19th in Baltimore when gray coats got in a fight with protesters. Freddie Gray. You know what Freddie equals in Gematria Truth Seeker? That number they like to code on black people. Freddie Gray. It's all part of a grand mocking. All the officers were just acquitted yesterday, a date with a life lesson number of 43. I have a video on that if you want to check it out. Sorry, I'm getting long in the tooth again. There's just so much to teach. Until next time.